Welcome everybody to another edition of Historical Geocaching on the Road with Geocacher T and Photobug from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Currently visiting Greenfield Village, an awesome outdoor history museum in Dearborn, Michigan. This video, I'm going to be exploring the Porches and Parlors district of Greenfield Village, a place where there's a lot of houses of famous Americans, such as Noah Webster, and some other houses showcase how different Americans lived in different time periods. So come along with me as I have a lot of fun. You can see this Quahog Plantation is a real working plantation. They do grow crops here. It's kind of representational of the slaves back in the 1800s. Gonna see what I can learn here. Hello, hello. Thank you, thank you.
Have you visited before?
I don't think I have. What can you tell me about this?
Well, this is quite an interesting building. It was built in the 1840s on the Patuxent River in St. Mary's County in the state of Maryland.
Okay.
But we're showing it near 1860, just prior to the Civil War.
Okay.
And so this is a tobacco growing plantation. It was on over 700 acres of land.
Wow.
The road to get to the plantation was 2 miles long. So it's really, it was
way out there.
Piece. Yeah, it was. Plus it was on the banks of the Patuxent. So Mr. Ford, when he brought the home here in 1942, he situated it in just the same way as what they would have to get those breezes off of the Patuxent.
Neat.
So it's pretty cool.
A lot of thought into that.
There is quite a bit of thought into the home, but come on in.
Oh, okay.
And take a look around. We've got here, it seems relatively small for a plantation. It wasn't for the time and in that area of the state of Maryland. When you think of the plantation, you think of something a little large.
Yeah.
No? But we've got, this is the parlor, where they
Okay.
would have done their formal entertaining. And we've got it set up for the summertime like they would have had.
Okay.
With the straw mat on the floor there.
Okay.
And we've got, if you take a look here on the mirror and on the painting, they've got netting because of the insect problem. And of course they covered up the upholstery with the slip covers for the summertime because of the insects, and they also, for the fireplaces, would put would close it off because of animals that could crawl.
Okay, yeah.
So that kind of thing. But here we've got the sitting room, and also where Mr. Carroll, he was the plantation owner. He would have done all of the plantation planning for the business here. This is where the children, they had 6 children.
Wow.
This is where they would have been educated. They would have also had
homeschool.
Homeschooling, which is quite interesting. But they were wealthy enough where they could afford that. For the kids, and so they would be educated, to continue on for the next generation of taking over a plantation, both the boys and the girls, as far as education for them. And they had a tutor from England, Elizabeth McCarthy. She was the tutor. She actually lived here with the kids. So she would, she'd be right here with them. But you notice we've got this set to 1860, but there's no actual wood-burning stove, and they would have had it. But Mr. Carroll did not do that. He instead decided to put the money back into the business. So that's quite an interesting thing too.
So how did the name Susquehanna come about?
It was the area
Okay.
The area that Mr. Carroll, he was actually the 5th generation for the family.
Wow.
To have lived in this area, but it was the actual area in the state of Maryland in St. Mary's County.
Okay. Neat.
And of course you've got the kitchen here.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a look at. Now, also in the kitchen, they would have had a kitchen stove, but Mr. Carroll decided to put the money back into the business rather than here. So,
neat.
But they did have a lead domestic servant. Her name was Tally. And
Okay.
they had 65 slaves on the plantation.
Wow.
Because they were growing tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to take a look out here, we've got Farmer Eric. He's out in the field today.
Okay.
And he's cultivating about 100 tobacco plants.
Wow, so it's really growing tobacco here.
Oh yeah.
Neat.
Just
Neat.
like what they would have, and some corn like they would have as well.
Neat.
So definitely take a look around. And don't miss the dairy back here.
Okay.
Only the wealthiest of wealthy would have a dairy. And
Okay.
the Carrolls actually have one. So.
Neat. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, well that was really awesome. I've been here for a play before, but a couple years ago, but I've never really explored this Susquehanna Plantation. This is the dairy I think she was talking about. This is the only Susquehanna Plantation outbuilding that survives. And let's just get another view of the, I guess it's now the tobacco plantation right there. So that's kind of neat. Let's see what else we can find. Okay, well that was really awesome, learning all of the history of Susquehanna Plantation. Certainly not known about that before. Now, I am going on to the oldest building in Greenfield Village. I think you did see that from the train in the train video. Be sure to check that out on YouTube. Let's see, there's a sign here. Let's see what it says. Plimpton family house. This brick over this fireplace dates to 1640. It was discovered in the bricks of the chimney when the building was taken apart, moved to Greenfield Village. This family had a lot of cold winters there, so they built it warm, and it was home to many generations of the Plimpton family. Thomas Plimpton Sr. came from England as early as 1639. He and his wife Abigail lived in Sudbury with their 7 children. After their original home burned to the ground, later generations of the family built the house you see here, lived until 1834, and this was built in early 1700s in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Let's see in here. I think, I don't know if there's a whole lot here, but I think I might make a challenge here just to get your picture inside or near the oldest building, Greenfield Village. It's hard, a reflection here. Most of it's closed off, but I think I might sneak picture. I think I'm going to make a challenge here to get your picture with the oldest building in Greenfield Village. Okay, well that was super cool, visiting that oldest building in Greenfield Village. Let's see what else we can find. Here's a Ferris windmill. The oldest, it's said to be the oldest windmill in the United States. And I've already completed the challenge, but there's a worldwide challenge to get your picture next to a windmill. It's called Green. I mean, I'll have to link to that. This would be a perfect spot to complete it. And now let's see where we're going to be going on to the Daggett Farmhouse and see what we can learn there. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. So what
I got here nice and early.
Yeah, what can
trying to beat the heat, huh?
Yeah. What can you tell me about this house?
Well, tell you what.
Is there?
This is the Daggett home from the 1760s.
So what's the significance of this house?
Well, this is just, it was originally located in Andover, Connecticut.
Okay.
It was built by a man named Samuel Daggett.
Okay.
No one important, you won't find him in a textbook anywhere.
Okay.
He was just an average colonist.
Okay.
So we built this house and we try to show you daily life for the Daggett family. So right now we're preparing our noon meal dinner, the largest meal of the day.
Okay.
We do all of our cooking on this open hearth here. And today we're having something called chicken after the Dutch way, which is a chicken and rice dish.
Okay.
We have recipe cards on the table here. If you're interested, you're welcome to take one.
Okay.
So we're standing in the Great Hall right now.
Okay.
Every time you're open to go into the kitchen there, just watch your head and your step on your way in.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Except maybe to dry them and use them.
Yeah.
The garden's coming along.
Okay.
In spite of the drought.
Still, looks good.
This is, have you been out here in our garden before?
I don't think I've ever been back here before.
Oh, okay.
Not for a long
We
time.
have raised beds, and the colonists actually brought that with them from England.
Okay.
You know, that's a concept that came from
Okay.
England.
Neat.
And it's really popular again right now, but it's not a new idea. I mean,
Yeah.
this has been going on for a long time. And it's so great because this was actually in Connecticut.
Okay.
You know, and the raised beds let you start gardening earlier because when the soil's up out of the ground, it warms up a little bit faster, so you can start planting a little bit earlier than you could. And it's easier. It's easier to weed. It's easier to water. You know, so there's just all kinds of good reasons to do this. But the colonial garden is interesting because it's, and you can see it's not very orderly. You know, things are not planted in neat little rows. They're kind of all mixed up. And we've just got a mixture of things out there. You know, we've got vegetables that we'll eat. We've got herbs that will be used for seasoning. Herbs that will be used like for home remedies. We grow things that are just for like our irises when those are blooming. We'll save those flowers and use those for dyeing wool in the fall.
Neat.
You know, so the garden really provides us with a lot of different things. You know, and you can see when you look at the keeping room. You know, we're already drying a lot of our things, and the kitchen or the keeping room will continue to fill up with bags and lines of things as the summer goes on. So.
Neat. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
So cool.
Oh yeah.
The breeze is nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay, well that was super cool. I don't think I've been in that house for a long time. Got to learn some cool history. Now, let's see what else we can find. This says it's the Cottage Forge. It's where blacksmiths. That's what blacksmiths used. Built in 1600s in Snowshill, Worcestershire, England. It looks like somebody's at work there.
Without realizing it, you've not only just stepped back in time about 100 years, but have also stepped several thousand miles from Dearborn, Michigan. This blacksmith shop was originally built in the village of Snows Hill in Gloucestershire, England. It was owned and operated by the Stanley family. They've been in business there as blacksmiths for at least 300 years. The shop is outfitted to appear as it would have been in the late 1800s, but apart from a few refinements, it would actually appear familiar to blacksmiths from many hundreds of years before then. Blacksmithing was an elemental trade, both in terms of the activity itself, shaping and manipulating hot iron using hammer and anvil, and in terms of the trade's place in the community. Even the tiniest village or settlement needed the services of a blacksmith to make essential items, hinges, nails, and door locks.
Well, that's kind of neat. Next, heading on to the Cotswold Cottage. Let's see what we can see there. See some accessory buildings for Cotswold Cottage right there. It's actually a really beautiful outside and gardens. Been inside there before. I'll go in there with you too. But it's really fancy on the outside. It's not pretty on the inside. Well, it's not pretty. It's just plain. But it sure does have a pretty exterior. Beautiful flowers. A little bee right there. A bird. Sounds like they're playing some music back there. I have some kind of, oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Kind of some secret insider information that one of the Model T drivers told us last year. That's that right there, those are 2 graves of dogs. Not going to go back there this time, but that's kind of neat. Not everybody knows about that. Let's see, let's go inside the Cottage. See what I mean? It's plain, but I'm sure it still functioned. It is really interesting to see how all sorts of people lived in different eras and times. Little things there. Kind of a repeat of the other room right in here. Oh, that's kind of cool. This is, I guess, where you can have tea, but I'm not going to be doing that. So, that looks like the train's going past again. Can't believe a half hour has passed already. Let's see what this house is. Let's see. The Gideons family home. John Gideons was a shipbuilder and merchant who could live in West Indies trade of rum, sugar, and molasses. House is built about 1750 in Exeter, New Hampshire. John Gideons and his family moved into this house before the American Revolution. Looks like they were a very wealthy family. So let's see what we can learn.
Popular in England and the colonies during this time. It is constructed around a huge central chimney with separate flues for each of the 5 fireplaces that heated the rooms and provided a heat source for cooking in the kitchen. The hall, or keeping room, on
Let's
the
see what we can
left,
see up here.
was designed to accommodate the informal daily activities of the family. It contains a number of furnishings in Queen Anne style, popular during the mid-1700s. On the right is the parlor, or guest room, which was used for entertaining and other special occasions.
Like maybe a bedroom up there? Huh. Startled myself. I thought I saw another person and I realized it was me. It's on the reflection. That's what it looks like down there. Okay, well, since I left you last, I've descended the stairs in the Gideons home. And, now I believe that's right here is the Noah Webster home, but let's go check the sign to be sure. think there's gonna be a Model T coming up here. Yeah, there's no Webster Hall. Webster, I believe, was the famous person who put the dictionary, did that.
Hello, how you doing
Hello,
today?
hello. Very
Welcome
good.
to Noah Webster's home. This
Thank
is
you.
a middle-class New England home. It was built
Okay.
on the grounds of Yale University. And that's a picture of Noah over the fireplace.
Oh, nice.
hmm And he did complete the American English Dictionary in this home. Took him 25 years and he
Wow.
knew 20 different languages.
Wow.
And we brought the home from New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay. Neat. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice and cool in here.
Well, we do have air conditioning. We have a lot of antiques. All the furniture is here from the late 1700s and early 1800s.
Oh, wow.
And that's the dining room. They didn't use that room very often.
Okay. Still pretty.
And that's Rebecca's dressing room, Noah's wife. She was having trouble going up and downstairs. This was her retirement home, so she moved her dressing room downstairs and moved Noah's study upstairs.
Oh, nice.
Now upstairs we have all his writings. When you go down the back stairs, there's an 8-minute video.
Okay, I'll have to go check that out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Mary's bedroom, evidently. And view out over there. Walnut Grove and the train track over there. This is Louise's room, the youngest child of Noah and Rebecca Webster. This is the guest chamber. Guess where all the Webster's guests would stay. And this right here is Noah Webster's study. Look at all those books. I'm sure he had many more too. Here it looks like some books of Webster's, different things about, and Webster's products, I guess it is. Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. Don't know if I'll film the whole video. They're showing it's probably against copyright rules, but I'll take you downstairs anyway. Alright, and some more about Noah Webster. And yeah, here's a video. I don't think I'm gonna watch it. I think I watched it last year. It was really nice, and now let's see what else is here in the Porches Parlors district of Greenfield Village. Okay, this house here, let's see, is the Robert Frost home. It's in 1835, I believe. So that is just beautiful. Beautiful shot right there. Let's see what we can learn here.
Symbolized by the decision between two paths in the woods. Frost reported this in 1956 at age 82.
Device in a yellow wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood, looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then,
unfortunately, there's nobody in here. He's the guy who wrote the poem, The Road Not Taken, all those famous lines. Big house. So I will go back and read that sign in more detail. And I just remembered there is a place that I need to be in half hour. But so it gives us some time to look at this stuff. He wrote some of his best poetry here. It's a poem to the Life Fellowship and Letters at U of M in 1920s. While living here, he invited students over to talk about their poems. This was built in 1835, as I said, in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Looks like a horse right there. That's a little store over there. And on we go to see what else we can learn here in the Porches and Parlors district of Greenfield Village. Hey, and I'm still not going in, but that building right there, that is the shop, but it's also I just saw a sign of the home of Luther Burbank, or his birthplace or something like that. This Sounds of America gallery. I don't think I'm going to go in, but talks about Stephen Foster. This was built in 1830 in Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania. I think it said over there. It's the Hermitage slave quarters, built by 1820 in Savannah, Georgia. Very sad history, but still good to learn. I honestly don't think I've ever been in here before, just I passed it for more exciting stuff, but wow.
Enslaved persons throughout the South were not passive victims. They endured and resisted their bondage. Some rebelled in quiet ways. They slowed down their work. They repeatedly broke tools. Or they secretly assisted others to escape north. Some
very sad history.
You see here, boldly rebelled.
Here's another part of the slave quarters.
Welcome.
Hello, hello. So what can you tell me about this place?
This is the Hermitage slave quarters. The Hermitage slave quarters would have been found on the Hermitage Plantation. That would have been just north of Savannah, Georgia, on the Savannah River.
Okay.
The home that you're looking at here would have been a slave's home. It would have been a family of 5.
Okay.
The father was an enslaved carpenter, the mother a house servant, and 3 children would have been living here. Now, when you look and you see brick walls and you see a wood floor, the resources that Mr. McAlvin, who owned the plantation, had at his disposal, he had bricks. He had a brickworks on his plantation. He had a sawmill, so he had wood. So he constructed 52 of these buildings, and in 1850 he owned 201 slaves. It was one of the largest industrial plantations in the South. It also had an iron foundry, a rice mill, a rice barrel factory. It was a very large plantation. Now, when you see a rope bed, that's not commonly found in a slave's home, but the father wasn't a slave carpenter, so he could have found wood that was thrown away, and he could have made a rope bed.
I see.
He could have made a table, he could have made benches, he could have made a chair. He could have made different things out of wood that was thrown away for his family that, again, were not typically found in slaves' homes, but once again, he was a carpenter, so he could have made these different things here. Again, no, I just want to point out that this is not a typical slave's home. This typical slave's home really weren't made out of brick and didn't have wood floors, so this was a little bit different. But also, as a business person goes, Mr. McAlbum was also a very good businessman. So by giving his slaves better living conditions, they would be happier and healthier and stronger, which means he could expect more and better work from them too. So there was a reward for his kindness and him being kind. Again, there was a reward for that.
I see.
But do you have specific questions on anything?
No, I've just never been in here.
Where are you from?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, my grandfather lives in Holly.
Okay.
And so we come visit him. And so like for the past decade we've come here on our summer vacations. But I've never been in this particular building.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
there were 52 of these buildings too that were built.
Okay.
And again, he would have owned 201 slaves. It was a very, very large industrial plantation.
I see.
But welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, yes,
You're learning
as
about
always.
different things. And, you come on a good day. It's the Ragtime Street Festival.
Yeah.
You saw down here.
Yeah, I haven't made it down there yet.
Oh no, go down there and enjoy that as well. I mean, enjoy the whole village. At 1:30 we do have a baseball game between the Lottie Guys and the National. That'll be right down in Walnut Grove down here. Go check out some of the old time baseball. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It really, really is amazing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And if you do get a little bit warm out there, because it is a warm day, Webster's home. Noah Webster's home right here. I sound like I almost live here. It's the big white house down the street. But right here, right down the street. But the reason I say that is because not only is it beautiful, but it's air conditioned.
I've been there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just came from there.
It's so nice to get
It
a little bit
is.
refreshed.
It is. Yeah, I'm working my way up through the Porches and Parlors in Edison District.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming here. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Anything else you think of it, come on back and talk to me.
Okay, no problem.
You take care.
You too. Okay, that was really, really cool. Never been there, as I said, all my decade of coming here. It is getting, time's running away. Here is the Luther Burbank Garden Office. And he was called the Plant Wizard, but he didn't think there's any magic in what he did, just good science. So I guess, I don't know much about him. I guess he was a gardener, kind of like, what was that guy? He worked with peanuts. I forget what his name was. But, there. Anyway. So I think I'm going to close up this video right now. Going to go on to some other areas of Greenfield Village. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Be sure to check out my blog at www.historicalgeocaching.blogspot.com for more details on this video and others, as well as just about anything that's history or geocaching related. And as always, this is Geocacher T and Photobook signing out. I'm having a blast with the past.